क्यों 2 बजे आने का तुम्हारा पता है सेकंड सबसे अच्छी जगह है ना वो मैं करवा के बिना में 12 हो चुके 10 6 बार के बस 10 बार किए वो
अब मेरे को सबसे लोएस्ट 56%।
मेरे को सबसे ज्यादा लोएस्ट 50% मिला था क्योंकि वो 4 पे 2 पे 2 राउंड में ऐसा।
तो मैंने रीटेस्ट किया।
हाँ फिर मैंने नहीं किया ऐसे के सारे मैंने वैसे किए
2 में 86 और बाकी में 72।
आज दोनों बायो 3 घंटा कंटिन्यूस बायो ये तो भी ठीक है चलो कुछ तो है हम लोग को इंग्लिश था कल 3 घंटे का मैं और गुजरा का
क्या पढ़ाया
एमओवी और फिर आए ग्रामर पे क्या हालत खराब थी हम लोग सही नहीं डाले थे उस टाइम पे
ये शेक्सपियर हाँ पागल है वो करनी कुछ भी डालना
और एक्चुअली में इंग्लिश नहीं है
ये बात है ना आर्टिस्ट में करके याद है ऊपर बोला था कि मैं आऊंगा याद रखना बेटा है देखा है स्पंदर
बंदा इग्नोर कर रहा है।
स्पंदन और भी शायद बस 15 मिनट में ही देते हैं। स्पंदन अनम्यूट कर।
और वो भी नंबर क्योंकि हम लोग 10 मिनट के देख के वापस आ गए।
अरे तुम लोग का टेस्ट कैसा था?
बहुत बढ़िया। फिजिक्स का
मत पूछ
वही तो आएगा ना लिखने में तो तेरी हालत टाइट हो जाएगी। अच्छे से पढ़ना फिजिक्स का।
मैथ्स अच्छा है।
हाँ वही पढ़ूंगा।
वो भी सिर्फ न्यूमेरिकल में गया सब।
अब फिजिक्स का तो सिर्फ 5 मार्क का थियरी था, बाकी सारा न्यूमेरिकल। भाई बेटे नहीं आएगा बस इसका होगा।
थ्योरी ज्यादा था कि न्यूमेरिकल्स भी था?
5 मार्क का सिर्फ थियरी था।
ओ भाई
वो आसान था, न्यूमेरिकल्स में लगती है।
न्यूमेरिकल्स में बहुत लगती है, तो मैं जो आया झाड़ दिया।
नहीं तो प्रॉब्लम है कि समझ में ही नहीं आया था न्यूमेरिकल्स।
सर ने क्या ही डाला था और वो तो फुल मार्क्स था। स्पंदन लाएगा ना फुल मार्क्स का है ना वो।
मत उड़ा भाई, मजाक मत उड़ा
स्पंदन तो कब आ रहा है
भाई। नेक्स्ट मतलब मैं मुंबई को संडे को आ रहा हूँ, लेकिन यूटी का नेक्स्ट ट्यूसडे।
फ्राइडे को गाँव जा रहा हूँ, फिर मैं आऊँगा संडे को भी मैं नहीं रहूँगा, ट्यूसडे को आऊँगा। मैं संडे को आ रहा हूँ वापस, तो मैं आऊँगा ट्यूसडे को।
मैं नहीं रहूँगा यहाँ पे सैटरडे से, तो मैं सैटरडे
अगर संडे को टेस्ट है तो तू है। हाँ तो बोल ना।
It's important for me to go. I have a perfectly good reason.
हम मिल जा रहा हूँ गाँव, तुम ना कहाँ जाना है?
मैं मेरी बहन का एडमिशन है हैदराबाद में और पूरी फैमिली को जाना ही पड़ेगा इसके लिए। That's a very perfect reason.
इसलिए हमको बाद में इधर ही रहना पड़ेगा। टेस्ट देना ही पड़ेगा।
वो तो बाद में वो देख लेंगे एक संडे को।
ग्रेड्स को भी दे सकते हो पर मेरा साल उसको दे उसको मम्मी मानेगी नहीं। मेरा पापा हाँ करके खत्म कर देगा।
पवार नहीं आया
और तेरे को ज्वाइन करेगा रुक जा।
नहीं वो ऑफलाइन ही आना मेरे को बोला।
ऑफलाइन आएगा तो इधर बैठाऊंगा उसको, मैं रुक जा।
बट बंदा बोला
तू बस सुनते रहना उसकी मैं आज कैसे निकालता हूँ। आज पक्का है वो ऑफलाइन।
हाँ मेरे को बोला तो था, अभी पता नहीं लास्ट मोमेंट पे प्लान चेंज हो गया क्या।
कितने बजे बोला तेरे को?
भाई यही टाइम पे।
कभी कल क्या आज?
वो पता नहीं।
क्या बनना है इसमें? अब यार आज 3 घंटे बायोलॉजी में पढ़ाओ।
बहुत मजा आने वाला है सबको। ओहो
अरे ड्रॉ किया क्या प्लान से?
हाँ किया।
प्लान से ड्रॉ किया? मैं तो उसमें से किया।
ऑलमोस्ट भूल गया था वो। मैं 1 बजे बैठ के खत्म कर रहा था।
मैं तो 1 ही नहीं 2 बजे शाम को।
मैं हाँ 2 बजे ऑलमोस्ट क्योंकि 1:45 हो रहा था।
और सुबह वो गया 10 से 11 खाने क्या केमिस्ट्री किया।
तूने चालू कब किया था खाना करते
आज?
ओह और तूने आज ही 10 कंप्लीट भी कर लिए?
हाँ मेरा भी तो लैश है।
मैं प्रोक्रेस्टिनेट बहुत करता हूँ।
8
तेरा आप हुए और 10 बाकी तेरे
हो जाएगा।
हाँ हो जाएगा इसमें 6 बाकी है।
1 घंटे में 8 हो तो 3 घंटे में
2 घंटे में आराम से हो
2
जाएगा।
घंटे में
11 3 घंटे यहाँ पर बैठना वो अलग बात है।
11:59 तक टाइम है भाई। 15 मिनट चल बाहर जाओगे ठीक है। 15 मिनट बाहर जाओगे ठीक है।
वो तुम लोग दूसरे बड़ा हम लोगों ने कोशिश तो नहीं की थी।
अब मेरे को
क्योंकि जब हम दोनों पागल जैसे एक दूसरे को मुंह ताक करे तब 10 मिनट के लिए।
और इतना ज्यादा बैठ गया 3 घंटे में 15 मिनट भाई।
नहीं उसके बाद
उसे तो 1 घंटे की बस हो गया। बहुत ज्यादा बैठ गया। 2:45 का मार दिया।
कोई और नहीं है नहीं ये रुद्रा नहीं भूलेगा उसको याद था कि वो उसको कल आना था जल्दी तो हाँ वो आएगा।
अरे
वो बीमार
तो चेक ही नहीं कर रही होती
बंदा गैस मार वो चला अभी आना है तेरे को।
स्पंदन
वो आएगा
बोल
और शायद
मैं पढ़ा रही है तो भी
वो चेक ही नहीं कर रही। स्पंदन पढ़ के आई हूँ, सब बोल रहा हूँ मैं।
2 मिनट, जब हमारा देख चाहो बंदा कब आएगा?
स्पंदन पढ़ के आई हो, समझ जाओ।
हाँ भाई, तेरे से ही ट्यूशन लूंगा।
शायद से अलग पेपर लेगा ना इनको।
नहीं सेम है।
अरे पर यूटी की साइड है ना, चला गया ना वो पेपर तो। अरे पर इनको अलग ज्यादा थियरी का पार्ट लेगा तो हमारे जैसे कुछ नहीं है।
कोई और आएगा कैसे? मैं तो सही घूमती है
ना तो डाटे की। अगर कोई लेट आएगा उधर तो अभी से उधर होगा, कोई तो पीछे ही पड़ी। हाँ
हर टीचर उसके पीछे पड़े हुए हैं तेरे ऑलमोस्ट।
बायो वाले तो थोड़ी।
अरे तुम लोग पता नहीं कि हमारे जो ज्योग्राफी के सर है वो क्या करते हैं,
वो खुद ही लेट करती है। हां भाई हमें और तो स्टैंडर्ड डॉट है भाई।
डॉट हम लोग डॉट से पहले आते हैं।
डॉट से पहले वही डॉट से पहले
पता हमारे पास कुछ करने के लिए होता नहीं है, इसलिए आ जाते हैं वो वाले।
यार ये भी टाइम नहीं लगता।
हां मैं निकलता हूं
बहुत
तो 15 मिनट पहले निकलता
वो
हूं।
क्या कि तुम्हें
वो तो टाइम पर है। ओह गॉड लगा नहीं था
क्यों है। अच्छा हां क्या है
गाड़ी
ओह
गाड़ी
बहुत जल्दी आया तू।
अरे मेरे तो बच गया तो
बहुत जल्दी आया तू।
अरे गाड़ी वाले उसको वापस। हां कल बस हटी थी। आज क्या वापस कल बस हटी। आज क्या था? आज गाड़ी। हां
हमेशा टकली रहती है। अरे हां और
हां तो 4 घंटे
खाने
के मैच की है। मैच की नहीं क्या तो लेके बाकी मैच की। नहीं वो लोग सिर्फ एक बंदा ऑनलाइन है ऑब्वियसली, स्पंदन अपना
और वो पवन तो चेक क्या मतलब वो सवाल
वो अभी की नहीं पूछ रही है।
मान लगा सवाल
आगे का क्या होगा?
अगर सवाल
किया गया वो डायग्राम दिया गया।
अगर सवाल मुझे आ गया
हां
धन्यवाद।
मैंने तेरा भेजा, तूने किया? मैंने गुड जॉब, तेरे मैंने कर दिया था।
अरे सुन पवार, कल 245 को आने वाला है, आज नहीं।
क्या
पवार कल 245 को आएगा, आज नहीं।
सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है।
मैं सोच रहा हूँ जब 15 मिनट का ब्रेक रहेगा सब लोग आके हेल्प करोगे।
बोल
मेरी नहीं यार।
अरे पवार गटर में गिर गया भाई।
अभी लोग आवाज ही को कितना अभी बोलो
कैसे मैं को प्रैक्टिस टीचर सॉरी
बोल
अरे भाई वेदांत गटर में गिर गया, उसका मैसेज आया है, नहीं आएगा।
ओ हाय सर स्पंदन।
अरे अनीश सुना, मेरा भी अटेंडेंस भर देना।
वो क्या पता वेदांत गटर में गिर गया।
जरा आवाज कम कर दो, बहुत ज्यादा आवाज सुनाई नहीं देता। गुड आफ्टरनून। बाकी लोग कहाँ गए? हाँ
पता नहीं लगा क्या हो रहा है।
हॉलीडे मनाने चले गए कहीं पे? अच्छा are we done with the chapter cell? No ma'am, nucleus बाकी है ना? Okay. हाँ. Do you all have your volumes with you? Volume की question did we solve the other day? Some already. Okay. Some we had solved already. So what are we going to do today is we are going to complete with this chapter and we'll start with the next chapter. Okay. So first of all, continue with this. I'll check all those, but first of all, let us complete with the last topic that we are going with. Now, nucleus, what are we supposed to learn? Nucleus as a cell organelle. Let us see what to understand. Nucleus as a cell organelle. Now, if I talk about the cell and this is the nuclear region, I want to draw this part a bit enlarged. are the parts? Let us try to see. This is the nuclear region. Then I will draw the nuclear membrane this way. Then I will draw the nuclear membrane this way. Now I will draw the nuclear membrane. I thought we went through a holiday. Huh? Well, I'm not doing that. ये वाटर बॉटल गिरना, पानी स्पिल होना।
मैम
सर
मैम वो जो सेकंड कैमरा है ना मैम, जो बोर्ड की तरफ पॉइंट करता है, वो दिख नहीं रहा मैम।
कैमरा ऑन नहीं। अच्छा बट शेयर कर दे बट
हाँ मैम अब दिख रहा है।
ऑनलाइन तो नहीं
स्पंदन।
हाँ मैम दिख रहा है।
Okay. So what are we learning? We are learning the structure of the nucleus, which will be something this way. Now, this nuclear region what is now inside the nucleus? Let us try and find it out. Inside the nucleus will be fine thread-like structures. We are going to know their names, their features. A structure known as nucleolus. What is it made up of? So first of all, start labeling this. Let me label this part. What is this? This is the nuclear envelope, also known as the nuclear membrane. What is this nuclear membrane made up of? Just like any other cell membrane, just like any other membranes of the cell, the nuclear membrane is also made up of the lipids and the proteins. If it is a cell membrane, if it is the nuclear membrane, it is made up of the lipids and proteins always. Next is, there are gaps in between the nuclear membrane. What are these called? These are called the nuclear pores. What are these nuclear pores for? The nuclear pores are for the transport of molecules and even the movement of the DNA from the nucleus to the, what is the time? Two 15. हाँ, कितने मिनट ले गए तुम? 7 मिनट, 7 मिनट। बैठो। Be on time. Before the teacher enters the class, you should be seated here. A nuclear pore, I said, nuclear pore is basically meant for the transport of the molecules in and out of the cell, in and out of the nucleus. So, a nuclear pore, through the nuclear pore, molecules from the nucleus can come down into the cytoplasm, molecules from the cytoplasm and enter into the nucleus. So, this nuclear pore is always there, plant and animal cells both. Next is we talk about the nucleoplasm. ये जो cytoplasm है inside the nucleus, that is known as nucleoplasm. The properties of the nucleoplasm and the cytoplasm is more or less the same, except the nucleoplasm has additional proteins for the process of cell division. Other than that, the properties of the ions and salts and the water of the nucleoplasm, cytoplasm is more or less the same. This is known as the nucleolus. What is it? This is known as nucleolus. Another small cell organelle, actually I should say. Nucleus के अंदर एक और छोटा सा cell organelle, and what is its name? Nucleolus. The nucleolus is again basically made up of certain type of proteins. Ribosomes. Ribosome is a cell organelle you have studied, no? Ribosomes. So this nucleolus is majorly made up of RNA and proteins and ribosomes. So that is what is its makeup. Ribosomes, nucleolus. So for nucleolus, nothing much. Now we are to study this structure in detail. What is this known as? This is known as chromatin fibers. This is known as chromatin fibers. Now we have to understand a little bit of this. Chromatin fibers, I said, ये जो chromatin fiber है, which are long thread-like structures like this, present in certain stage of a cell. Cell के अंदर हमेशा hereditary structures are not like this. तो अपना नाम भूल गए. नाम उसको लगा श्रेया अंदर आई है.
I thought Shreya is there.
I told him Spandan is there. तो श्रेया is there मतलब श्रेया is absent. वो सबके लिए साइन करता है. बाकी लोग लिखना पढ़ना भूल गए. श्रेया क्या आप कृपया करके बुक्स ओपन करेंगे? वो बैठा है अभी, क्या किस लिए आया वो खुद भूल गया. पहले तो उसको 7 मिनट ड्यूटी ढूंढने में लगा और आके भी वो समझ नहीं आ रहा.
Absent है ना?
हाँ, तो अपना नाम भूल गया. बोला ना
क्या नाम है?
अरे नाम
क्या है?
वेदा का मतलब
नाम है लोग
अगले दिन ड्यूटी ढूंढना है तो आधा घंटा पहले घर से निकलना. Now chromatin fibers, thin, long, fine thread-like structures. अरे गया जा.
all the best.
जैकेट पहन के आना था. Now, chromatic fibers, what are these? How will you define? Chromatin fibers are fine, long, thin, thread-like structures. Where are they present? I would say these type of thread-like structures are basically present in a young cell or a newly formed cell. मतलब young cell or newly formed cell, if I am talking about this cell, समझो, this cell is undergoing the process of cell division and 2 new cells are formed. So इसको हम बोलेंगे young cell, newly formed cell. This is a parent cell. So I said chromatin fibers are basically present in young cells. So mature cell में, parent cell में क्या chromatin नहीं होता? No, a different form of chromatin is there. So very simply we'll try to understand that ये chromatin, when it undergoes process of coiling like this, it results in the formation of a condensed structure and इसको बोलेंगे chromosomes. So chromosomes are actually present in a mature cell. Chromosomes are present in a mature cell, parent cell. अरे बड़ा खुश होके तुम आ रहे हो. हाँ, मैंने चॉकलेट दिया तुमको. तो डाटा किस लिए डाटा? लेट आने के लिए डाटा कि श्रेया लिखने के लिए डाटा? अपना आइडेंटिटी कभी नहीं खोना और दूसरों का आइडेंटिटी पे कभी भी हाथ पैर नहीं मारना. वैसे तुम श्रेया का नाम पे साइन क्यों कर रहे थे?
ज्वाइन किया था.
श्रेया के पेरेंट्स ने तुमको रिस्पांसिबिलिटी दिया उसका.
नहीं मैम, उसने तो बस बोला नाम लिख ले.
तो तुम वो जब भी रहेगी वहां पे तुम्हारा काम है उसका नाम लिखना. तो उसको विकास भैया करेंगे ना. तुम यहाँ पे आते हो फिर सिर्फ अपना पढ़ाई अपना काम कंप्लीट करके जाओ. Now, when we are talking about chromosomes, let us learn what is the definition, what is the meaning of these two words, chromatin threads, fine long thread structures. Chromosomes, वही fine long thread जब condensed होके छोटा हो जाता है, that is chromosome. Now, सबसे important for you to understand is कि अगर ये structure को एक छोटा सा पार्ट ऑफ द क्रोमैटिन को अगर मैग्नीफाई करेंगे एंड वी ट्राई टू सी व्हाट इज देयर इनसाइड, वी विल सी दैट internally the chromatin or the chromosome is made up of a double helical structure like this, a coiled structure, a wavy structure, but made up of two thin threads, resulting in the formation of a ribbon-like structure like this. What is this structure known as? The DNA molecule. This is known as the DNA molecule. What is the full form? Deoxyribonucleic acid. This is a complex molecule that our cells has. This is a complex molecule that our chromosomes have internally. Full form याद रखना है, deoxyribonucleic acid. You don't need to study the detailed structure. वो तुम बाद में पढ़ोगे. नहीं, न्यूक्लियस ड्राइंग के लिए नहीं है. Now, what are you supposed to understand in this chapter? Few terms. Chromatin, chromosome, you know now. क्रोमोसोम के अंदर क्या है? DNA, that also you know now. But एक और definition जो तुम्हें याद रखना है, that is, ये जो DNA है, every segment of the DNA, I may choose like this. Every segment of the DNA is responsible for a character that we show. Are you aware how many chromosomes we have inside our cells? बोलो 46. Oh, 46. So we have 46 chromosomes. मतलब हर एक क्रोमोसोम के अंदर ऐसा DNA, हर एक क्रोमोसोम के अंदर this type of structures are there. And that means you understand 46 and हर एक क्रोमोसोम के अंदर such long threads like this, which are extensively coiled. तो इस तरह के जो segments है, they are also in thousands. Is not so? That means if I have to divide the entire DNA in segments of 46 chromosomes, so such type of segments are in thousands. So what are these segments regulating? हर एक segment regulating one character. Let me give you some examples. Say suppose the color of our eye. The color of our eye. What else? The second may be responsible for our eye. The third may be responsible for our shape of our fingers. So कुछ भी, any type of a character that you can talk about yourself. Externally, internally, and our behavior. हर एक चीज, हर एक feature that we show, all there in our DNA. All there are in our DNA. Why do I have a blunt nose? Because my DNA. There's a specific gene in my, there's a specific region in my DNA which is responsible for this character. So what are these? What are these regions called? The gene. What is the definition? Functional segment. Functional segment of the DNA which regulates a character. So as I said, 46 chromosomes और हर एक chromosome के अंदर ऐसा structure and हर एक DNA के अंदर एक segment and only one segment regulates one character. क्या वो repeat होता है कि एक chromosome के अंदर जो segment है वो दूसरे एक और chromosome में है? No, एक segment एक character वो एक ही बार कोई एक chromosome में है. Am I clear? How do you define this word gene? Gene is a functional segment of DNA that regulates a character. Functional segment of DNA that regulates a character. So about the nucleus, only this much you have to study. Nucleus has got the parts like nuclear membrane, nuclear core, nucleolus, nucleoplasm, and on the nucleoplasm, the chromatin. If it is a young cell and if it is a mature cell, then chromosome. What is the chemical composition of chromosome? DNA. What are the segments of the DNA called? Genes. What do genes control? Characters are characters. Now, actually, if I talk about the normal concept, the character means how good or bad we are. People commonly talk about जब हम कैरेक्टर की बात करते हैं, we generally know how good or bad our person is. Biology में the word character does not mean that. In fact, in the concept of biology, the texture of the head, that's also a character. The sharpness of the nose, the shape of the eyes, the color of the eyes, the amount of hemoglobin, the shape of the nails, and whether I love to or whether I'm scared of anything or I'm scared, not scared of anything, whether I'm polite or I'm rude. This is also a character under the concept of biology. आया समझ में? So why do we show all this? Because our gene regulates us. Every gene produces a protein and उसी की वजह से हमारे taste, हमारे emotions, हमारे nature, everything depends on that. It's not only our features and characters externally. Why some are addicted to reading, why some love music so much, why some love sports so much. There are people who are mad for sports and there are people who don't love to play at all. Why? Because of this. So that is the basic concept we have to learn. Definition of gene. These concepts we will learn in the next chapter in detail. अभी फिलहाल इतना ही तुमको चाहिए. Definition of gene you should know. What is the definition of the word gene? Gene refers to the functional segment of the DNA. Now, with this, I think we are almost done with this chapter. The differences between plant and animal cell also we have studied, and all the cell organelles that we have come across. I'll give you 10 questions to answer, but after some time, just show me the volume if you are done with some of the important questions that I asked you to do. Did you do all those questions? Which are the questions I give you in the volume? Yeah, give you as homework, or you have done in the class? Done. Not that. How we did with this? This is not that. How did this you came? Class. This part was homework. Did you all finish? Did you all finish the homework? इतना बिजी कहाँ घर में काम टाइम है ये सब करने का ना इतना बिजी है हम लोग नाम आपको पता भी नहीं है ना लास्ट 2 minutes टाइम है चलो 5 minutes टाइम फटाफट करो जो आए ओके एज होमवर्क 5 minutes टाइम फटाफट कंप्लीट करो एज होमवर्क आफ्टर दैट आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू अ 10 mark test and then I move on to the next chapter 10 mark test में किसी को भी 5 के नीचे मिला ना क्या होगा हाँ बुक नहीं लाए बुक नहीं आए यहाँ पे कौन सा बुक वॉल्यूम नहीं लाए इसको तो चेक करके करो अभी फटाफट लास्ट 5 minutes I'll give you this you should have done at home plant cell diagram I had asked you to draw. All of you finished? By the time you finish your work, show me the diagram also. All of you. Plant cell wall I had asked you to draw. Plant cell wall. I'm sorry. Plant cell diagram. Oh, beautiful. But with the exam color नहीं करना. Okay? Exam में color नहीं करना. और ये लेबल ऐसे करोगे ना always try to do it straight like that straight so this is the right way on the right side okay that's the right way this one very good they have really proved that the plants are going to grow the animals it's not boras there. The diagram is very good, very neat. Sir, आपके पास टाइम था ये सब फालतू काम करने के लिए? कौन सा सबसे हम प्रेजेंट करेंगे? कहाँ से कौन सा क्वेश्चन प्रेजेंट करेंगे? कहाँ से प्रेजेंट करेंगे? कौन सा प्रेजेंट करेंगे? मार के आना चार बार कौन सा कैसे इतना लाइट कैसे हाँ लाइट है ना दिख रहा है क्या दिख रहा है कुछ क्या लिखा तुमने लोगों को दिख रहा है क्या क्या लिखा उसमें ऐसे कहाँ बैठ करना है इधर ड्रॉइंग अगेन क्या भी रखो क्लियर होना चाहिए हमारा डायग्राम दिखाओ डायग्राम थोड़ा बड़ा है पर बहुत अच्छा
Ma'am, genes are located in the chromosomes.
genes are located in the chromosomes देखा ऐसे नीड्स एंड ग्राफ प्रोग्राम ठीक है नेक्स्ट क्लास में करके आ गए और तुमने क्यों नहीं किया डायग्राम एक्चुअली बनाया हुआ क्यों मैंने अपनी एप्लीकेशन देखा मैं बिजी हो ना टाइम भी नहीं मिल सकती नेक्स्ट दिखाने में मुझे डायग्राम चलो फिर डन विद दिस चैप्टर वो जिन लोगों ने कंप्लीट नहीं किया क्वेश्चन फटाफट कंप्लीट करो और जिनका हो चुका है स्टार्ट टेकिंग द टेस्ट 10 मार्क का टेस्ट है आफ्टर दैट आई एम गोइंग टू स्टार्ट विद द नेक्स्ट चैप्टर nobody will talk and ask anything जो तुम्हें पता है तुम उतना ही लिखोगे only what you know what you have understood books बंद करोगे if you know almost all the answers that means at least you are more or less clear with the chapter you will write down the question also huh Time become. What's the time? 3:90. 3:30. All of it. Just 10 minutes. All of it. Wait. Maybe before. You write very neatly question and answers. Both you will write. You write the question also. If it's a difference, like number 5, you will write it in a column. दो column बना के बता रहे. Answering one or two sentences. First one, unnecessary description half a paragraph नहीं लिखना. One or two sentences का answer करें. That's it. Yeah. RT answers. Chart purpose. Okay, ma'am. Every time I tell you keep reading, keep reading, keep reading. There is only very good maximum distance. Done. Show me. नहीं. This is small. Want to try further? Okay. Okay. Done. You want to try further? Okay, that we have finished writing in pencil. %, marks in any test, any examination classifies it. अगर तुमने क्लास में सुना है समझा है तो 50% कोई भी बिना पढ़े मिलना ही चाहिए. हाँ, you want to get all answers correct. उसके लिए शायद additional और application चीजें होती है. But these are just concept questions I gave you. I did not give you any diagram-based questions. I did not give you major 5 marks के differences. Nothing. Only basic 1 or word or 1 sentence answer. So अगर तुमने सुना है समझा है और थोड़ा सा घर में जाके तुमने अगर वो सुन किया, you should be able to answer all questions. Hmm? 28. Last 2 more minutes. Spandan, are you done?
Ma'am, I'm not getting 2 questions. पर बाकी I mean other all are done.
Be fair to yourself. When I discuss the answers, you will correct your answers yourself.
Okay, ma'am.
Over, last 1 more minute, finish. Finish up. Go your time, done. हाँ? एक नहीं आया. हाँ, that's good news. एक नहीं आया, so I'm rather happy. That's it. But all of you will give me a book. All of you will give me a book. Carriers of hereditary markers. I already told you I will take mock tests like this anytime. You should be reading and conveyed in the class, you should make it a point that whether you have understood whether you have followed or not. Go to the video also. Now, so what I conclude now is so what I conclude is he gets the highest mark. What's your name?
Nevan. Nevan.
Nevan. Nevans followed by what's your name? Arshita. Arshita. उसका नाम का स्पेलिंग भी भूल गई है डबल ए आशिता St. Mary's है both of you from St. Mary's. I was also there in St. Mary's. Now I used to teach in St. Mary's for I taught there 5 years. I left which year 17. Okay, now जो लोग ऐसे ही बैठने के लिए और मजे करने के लिए आ रहे हैं उनको भी जिंदाबाद. With this note that please make it sure that you are understanding, remembering पढ़ना है घर में जाके एक बार गो थ्रू अगेन आई रिपीट द सेम सेंटेंसेस. इस तरह के टेस्ट एनी टाइम आई विल टेक. मैं सैटरडे संडे मंडे नहीं बोलने वाली हूँ कि दिस डे एंड दैट मंथ. आई एनी टाइम a student should be prepared to get 50% marks any time. ये वाले टेस्ट में 5 तो ऐसा ही मिलना चाहिए. चलो एक आध क्वेश्चन में कंफ्यूजन दैट इज अंडरस्टूड, वो होता है, नॉर्मल है. बट कुछ महाशय लोगों को तो पढ़ने में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, तो उनका क्या किया जाए? पेरेंट्स हैव सेंट यू विद सो मच ऑफ होप. तुम भटकते भटकते 110 मिनट बाद आते हो. This I will not take it in the next and the next and the next tests. Okay, ये फर्स्ट टेस्ट है. मैंने पहले लेक्चर में बोला था you'll have to go through every day. आज जो मैंने पढ़ाया, बाकी सब्जेक्ट्स जो भी हुआ, before you come for the next lecture, एक 2-3 दिन का गैप तो रहता ही है. Go through what has happened. So when you make it a habit, हर दिन का हर दिन थोड़ा देखो, या तो नेक्स्ट डे थोड़ा देखो, इतना टाइम मिलता ही है. So what is happening? Everything is fresh in your mind. याद रहता है. And then you know क्या doubts है, क्या confusion है, you can ask us. And ये regular process of study जब चलेगी, it will be easier for you to remember. क्योंकि अभी तो खाली एक ही चैप्टर हुआ है. 20 chapters you have to do. खाली बायो के. फिजिक्स है, केमिस्ट्री है, मैथ्स है. All these are heavy subjects. मैथ्स और फिजिक्स के बोझ में अगर दब जाओगे तो कैसे होगा? So if you do this process of study, पढ़ाई would be very fun for you. नहीं तो मम्मी would be yelling at home and then very forcefully you will sit to study 1 hour. ऐसे नहीं. You should love to study. You should love to study. You should love to know. मुझे ये जानना है, वो सब्जेक्ट का ये समझना है, वो जानना है, सब कुछ like that. The next test when I take, I should see a better performance from all of you. Promise?
Yes.
नेक्स्ट टेस्ट में जो सबसे ज्यादा सबसे फास्ट सबमिट करेगा एंड जिसको सबसे हाईएस्ट मार्क मिलेगी उसको चॉकलेट मिलेगी. वो इंटरेस्टिंग है जहाँ चॉकलेट नहीं चाहिए. नॉट इंटरेस्टिंग. बड़ा बदमाश है, तेरा चेहरा देख के लगता है. Today we are going to start with the next chapter, tissues.
Ma'am.
Oh, Spandan. I'm sorry, Spandan. I'm so sorry. Chalo, you will answer. You will check your own answer. चेहरा दिखाने का कष्ट करोगे?
हाँ मैम.
Be very honest and be very fair to yourself and correct. Abhi check your answers. Cell organelle that releases enzymes. Correct answer लिखते रहो बाकी लोग.
मैम Golgi apparatus.
Golgi apparatus. Very good. Composition of the cell wall.
Ma'am cellulose.
Cellulose. Type of endoplasmic reticulum engaged in SCR.
Ma'am smooth endoplasmic reticulum.
Engaged in detoxification. SCR. 4. Cell organelle that stores water and dissolves salts and minerals.
Vacuoles.
Vacuole. Carriers of heredity.
Ma'am chromosomes.
Very good. कितने आंसर्स करेक्ट मिले?
Ma'am सब करेक्ट मिले.
अरे वाह. So 5 थे. Come to the other section.
Yes
Come to
ma'am.
the other section. Why is lysosome known as suicidal bag?
Ma'am this I didn't write ma'am. I didn't know the answer.
आंसर लिखो. आंसर लिखो. When lysosomal or when enzymes of lysosome. When enzymes of lysosome breaks down. Enzymes of lysosome breaks down the membranes and organelles of a dead or worn out cell, dead or worn out cell. Worn out cell मतलब broken cell. Then enzymes of lysosome break down membranes and organelles of a dead or worn out cell. Function of mitochondria. 3 function मैंने सिखाया था. Only 1 to write.
Ma'am, the release of energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate.
You can give 1 mark to yourself. Expand ATP.
Ma'am, adenosine triphosphate.
Adenosine triphosphate. Spelling mistake नहीं होना है.
हाँ ma'am.
Function of leucoplast.
Ma'am, even I didn't know this. I mean, मुझे पता नहीं ma'am इसका answer.
अच्छा. Function of leucoplast. Stores starch. What is the function of leucoplast? He's doing that, he's cheating himself. What is the function of leucoplast? He'll be fair to himself, not to worry. Function of leucoplast, storage of starch. One difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic.
Ma'am, I only wrote that ma'am chromosomes are a single in prokaryotic, and in eukaryotic, ma'am, they are many.
Okay, that's a correct point. और क्या लिख सकते थे? Prokaryotic cell has. What is the other difference? Prokaryotic cell does not have well-defined nucleus. Prokaryotic cell does not have well-defined nucleus. Eukaryotic cell has well-formed nucleus. Prokaryotic cell has single chromosome. Eukaryotic cell has many chromosomes. So check the differences again that I had given you earlier. So how much you get, Spandan?
Ma'am, actually, ma'am, that adenosine triphosphate spelling was wrong.
अच्छा तो हाफ दे दो, अपने आप को हाफ दो. Half दे दो. 7.5.
Yes, ma'am.
कितना मिला? 7.5 मिला?
हाँ, ma'am.
Okay, good. Very good. So now the next part of the next chapter that we're moving into would be tissues. So when I am teaching, try to understand. समझ नहीं आ रहा है तो हिंदी या इंग्लिश में पूछो और कोई लैंग्वेज में मत पूछना. Doubts? पूछा करो कुछ. क्या नाम था तुम्हारा गुरु में? रुद्रा. से नाम तो इतना पावरफुल है. तुम्हें कोई पावर मुझे नहीं दिखाई दे रहा अभी तक. हाँ दिखाई दे रहा है तुम लोग को? तो बेचारा बन के बैठा रहता है हमेशा. अरे bring in that josh and that power in you. हाँ, your parents have kept such a powerful name, no? You should live up to that name, no? फिलहाल बायोलॉजी में सबसे अच्छा मार्क्स लेके आओ. हर एक सब्जेक्ट में, not only in biology. I'm talking about my subject, but whenever you listen, whenever you sit here for the lectures, school, make it a point always कि अब जब मैं बैठा हूँ क्लास में मुझे सीखना है, याद रखना है. So we are to start with the next chapter, tissues. What did we learn so far is cells. We already learned about the complex, the internal structure of cell, the complexity of the cell. So under the concept of prokaryotic, eukaryotic, we had understood that how simple a cell can be, how complex a cell can be. Now we are going to understand the aggregation of cell. What is an aggregation of cell going to give rise to? So I'm saying that yes, we have already understood the basic characteristic of a cell. We know this now. But now we are going to understand that when this cell clusters up, what will we term this as? This is what is known as a tissue. And then followed by the hierarchy when we are talking about the various organs that we have in our body, and then we talk about the different type of systems that we have in our body. So now we are talking about the cluster of cells which gives rise to a variety of structures, tissues. So prominently, we are going to talk about different types of tissues in the plants and then different types of tissues in the animals. Okay. So first of all, I'll talk about the types of tissues in the animals. We'll learn animals tissues first. It is easier for you to understand. Then once you're more or less thorough with the concept of cells, then we'll move into the concept of plant tissues. So when we are talking about the basic characteristics of animal tissue, you'll be able to relate with this much easier, much faster. So first of all, define the word tissues. What are tissues? Define the word tissues. Tissues are a group of cells that may be structurally similar or not similar. That is also possible. They may be structurally similar, they may not be structurally similar. But whatever it is, they are performing a common function. They are performing a common function. So we have to understand that whether the group of cells are all made up of the same cells, or maybe they are made up of 2 or 3 different types of cells, but their function is same. So what should be the definition? Right now, the definition should be group of cells structurally similar or dissimilar. Structurally similar or dissimilar and performing a common function. So that is what a tissue is. Now, you want to understand the different types of plant and animal tissues. Okay, variety of plant and animal tissues you are going to study. But I said I'm going to take the animal tissues part first. Only reason is I always find it much easier for the students to understand. Plant tissues, in fact, they are simpler, but when I start studying the characteristics, it will be very new to you, all the terms and the concepts. So first of all, let us try to relate with the concept of animal tissues. Under the concept of animal tissues, there are 4 types of tissues that you have to study. What are those? We have to study about epithelial tissues. We'll be studying about connective tissues. We'll be studying about muscular tissues. And we'll be studying about nervous tissues. So today we are going to learn about this too, and if possible, this. We'll see later if time permits. But this too we are going to finish today. Muscular tissues, nervous tissues. Okay, muscular tissues, nervous tissues. So let us get started. What are some of the properties of muscular tissues and their types? That is what we are going to study. What are some of the properties of the muscular tissues? So overall, if I have to talk about muscular tissues, what are their properties? Muscular tissues, what are their properties? Muscular tissues, whenever I talk about, they are majorly arranged, or the muscular tissues are arranged rod-shaped. The muscular tissues are rod-shaped. And these muscular tissues, where are they present in our body? In our arms, in our face, in our neck region, in our legs, anywhere in our body, wherever there are bones, yes, there are muscles. So this is the external structure that I told you. Internally also there are some muscles, something like the softer parts of our body, like the stomach, the intestine. And what about the heart? Is the heart also made up of muscles? Yes. Cardiac muscle. Now we have to understand What are some of the structures, functions, parts, names? Let us start. Muscular tissues, what are some of the properties? Let us learn some properties first of all. Muscular tissues are contractile. Muscular tissues, contractibility, contractile. What is the meaning of that? They can expand and relax. They can lengthen. I mean, the length will not increase, but they can stretch and go, come back, stretch, come back. So whenever we are talking about this feature of the muscles of this tissue, where they can be extended and they can relax back, extend. So this is what is known as contractibility. Contractibility. Next is the muscular tissues. May contain cells may be majorly cylindrical or spindle shaped. Cells may contain one or many nuclei. Nucleus का plural है nuclei. N-U-C-L-E-I. Nuclei. Cells may contain one or many nuclei. Nucleus. Nuclei. So at least 4 to 5 features about the muscular tissues in general. Let us learn first. What are some of the generalized features of the muscular tissues? Yes, the most important property, they are contractile. There is no other tissue in our body which is contractile. Muscular tissues are contractile. They contain cells that are cylindrical or spindle shaped. They contain cells which are cylindrical or spindle shaped. Yes, we learn which are cylindrical, which are spindle. If you look at the muscular cells, the muscle cells will have what? Either one nucleus or they may have more than one nucleus also. One or many nuclei. Then what? What are the muscles mainly meant for in our body? What type of function do they help us in? Movement, no? Only because the muscles are contractile, that's the reason we are able to move our body parts. And supportive framework. What is the meaning of that? वैसे तो the bones are giving us the skeletal framework. The bones are giving us the structure shape framework. But ये अगर muscles हमारे bones के आसपास अगर नहीं होता, then एक supportive framework नहीं हो सकता था. Movement तो होता ही नहीं था. But if we don't have the muscles, say suppose the internal regions of our body, the stomach is there, the pancreas is there, the intestine is there. The definite shape and structure is all because of the muscles, arrangement of the muscles. And if I'm talking about the arms and the legs and the face and the neck and the shoulder, bones को support करता है and makes movement possible. That's the reason supportive framework. So the bones are majorly responsible for framework. Is that so? Now we are going to learn the different types of muscles. We are talking about muscular tissues. We are going to learn the different types of muscles along with their diagrams, functions, positions, locations, etc. So let us start with the concept of Types of muscle. The first one that we talk about would be skeletal muscle or striated muscles. Skeletal or striated muscles. Take out your pencils, you will have to draw this diagram. Skeletal muscles or striated muscles. Only with a pencil you will draw. I am showing you to differentiate the different parts with different colors. You will not use any color, sketch pen, nothing. Make a habit of drawing only with pencil.
Muscular chapter.
Diagram should be neat. When you draw the diagram, the outline should be dark. Now that I have drawn here dark and light bands, it should be exactly like this dark and light that I have drawn.
Ma'am,
Ah,
ma'am, camera share karo na. I can't see the screen.
yes.
I can't see the screen, ma'am. That board, that diagram you have drawn.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am.
नहीं यहाँ पे रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं हो रहा तो इस तरफ लगाते हैं ना यहाँ पे लगा वहाँ पे ओपन नहीं हो रहा हाँ अभी हो रहा हाँ MYOFIBRIL 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 Did you finish Vandan? Done?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just completing it.
You do it, then I'll try to show you. By the time the others finish, others done, all of you done. Okay. What is this? I can't share now. Now, done with this skeletal muscles, skeletal fibers, skeletal muscles, striated muscles. These are alternate terms. The first type of muscle that we are going to learn would be skeletal muscles, also known as striated muscles. Also known as striated muscles. Q, if you see the entire filament. Now, why am I drawing a filament something like this? When I talk about the structure of the muscle, you may see the structure that is given in your book also. I'm not able to share. I wanted to show you the structures. That was, is anybody aware how to share this? Yes. Pata hai? Share. अरे share screen हो रहा है, but all the three we are able to do together. अभी यहाँ पे क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? That is what. Share screen, हाँ, but इसमें ये option आना चाहिए ना, वो आ नहीं रहा। इसमें, तो इसमें you'll not be able to see the board, no?
मैम बोर्ड के चाहिए।
Simultaneously board भी तो दिखना चाहिए ना? वो नहीं आ रहा। If I do this, खाली ये भी आ रहा है। अच्छा, चलो, Spandan, are you able to see?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
तो ये देखो, that is how, अरे बाप रे,
मैम ऐसे हार्ड मैम बटन दबाओ। इसे दबाओ।
अरे वो सब लाइट चालू होता है।
कहाँ पे? This one, no?
हाँ, थोड़ा सा बस टर्न कर दो इसको। अब वो होना चाहिए बस। अभी वेट करना है। तो वही पता है तीसरी बार देखता हूँ।
चलो। Now, Spandan, look at this figures. I'm trying to show you this type of structures. अभी देखो तुम लोगों ने देखी। Oh my God. ये क्या है? Never mind. हाँ, there's a loose connection over there. There's a loose connection. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए ना. The other classroom we can turn it full. Hello class. Chalo, we'll manage with this. Are you able to see? Yes. Now this is what I wanted to show you, the structure of the muscle. That is what you have drawn. This diagram you have drawn. Why I am drawing structures like this? Because this is the thinnest fiber that the muscle contains. Something like if I take small portion of muscle from the here, from the arms, from the neck, from the legs, take a small portion. Remember that small portion also has got hundreds of such type of thin thread-like structures. Now that small portion we have to tease and tease and tease and find out the thinnest fiber, put it under the microscope, and then only you get to see a structure something this way. ये छोटा सा amount of muscle यहाँ से लेके उसको put it in the microscope, will we be able to see anything? क्योंकि वहाँ पे hundreds of fibers है, will not be able to see anything. हमें लग रहा है छोटा सा portion है, but that itself has got so many fibers. So what is the thinnest fiber of the muscle called? Myofibril. I'm talking about skeletal muscles or striated muscles, striated or skeletal. Now, from the name itself, you should understand where they are present. From the name itself, you should understand where they are present. Anywhere in the body, जहाँ पे bones है. So, can I write down the arms? Yes. Can I write down the neck? Yes. Can I write down the shoulders? Yes. So, any region of the body which has got bones and the muscles which are surrounding the bones, these are called skeletal muscles. The arms and the shoulders and the face and the neck and the legs, skeletal muscles. Structure, what should you know? The structure. What is the functional unit known as? The functional unit is myofibril. What is the meaning of that? Myofibril is the thinnest filament. Myofibril is the thinnest filament. Spandan, तुमको board नहीं दिख रहा है ना? I will show you after 2 minutes, huh?
Yeah, fine, ma'am.
So we are talking about the skeletal muscles. देखो, we are talking about the skeletal muscles. Then the myofibrils. The next is we talk about what are the other properties. Each myofibril has light and dark bands. So what is the meaning of light and dark bands? These are regions where Light region, if I talk about the light band, what is light band? Check from the diagram also. Can you see? You can see, here. Look into figure A. Can you see figure A here or here also? If I show you, this is much clear. Figure A, there are some darker region, there are some lighter regions. This is only because of the deposition of protein. कहीं पे protein ज़्यादा, कहीं पे protein कम. जहाँ पे protein कम, light region. जहाँ पे protein ज़्यादा, dark region. Very simple to understand. So, what is the special property of these type of muscles? The entire fiber has alternate light and dark, light and dark, light and dark regions. अब ये एक single cell या तो single fiber. The single fiber is a single cell. The single cell में how many nucleus you get to see? Many, no? Many, no? 1, 2, 3. वैसे तो generally we know that एक cell के अंदर एक ही nucleus होता है, but यहाँ पे देखो more than one, no? So we will write what is the structure. So for the nucleus is concerned, they are multi-nucleated. They are multi-nucleated. So these are multi-nucleated. Now you can write down the properties. Spandan, I'm stopping this. You can write down this. Right. This and this. Now, when we are talking about the structure multi-nucleated, that's a very important property that you have to remember. Multi-nucleated, meaning more than one nucleus. Multi-nucleated. Okay, multi-nucleated. What is the cytoplasm of the muscle cells known as sarcoplasm? Muscle cell का cytoplasm को बोलेंगे sarcoplasm. Same like any other cell. Every cell has got a membrane. इसको हमने plasma membrane बोला है पहले. Now when I talk about the muscle cell also has got a membrane. इसको क्या बोलेंगे? This is known as sarcolemma. Sarcolemma. Muscle cell के membrane को बोलते हैं sarcolemma and muscle cell के cytoplasm को बोलते हैं sarcoplasm. तो ये हो गया about the structure. This word is important for you. Is the membrane. ये वाला. This region is sarcolemma. Membrane. Function. Let us try to understand the function of the skeletal muscles. We have already seen where are they present. What are the structural features? Now function, let us try to understand. What are some of the functional properties? This type of muscles can contract and relax according to our will and helping body movements. So this property, when I write, this type of muscles are able to undergo the process of contraction and relaxation according to our own wish, according to our own will. What is the meaning of this when I talk about these concepts? What is the meaning of this? This means these type of muscles are voluntary muscles. What is the meaning of voluntary muscles? Muscles that we can move, contract according to our own wish. ये जो regions of the body now that we have named, suppose let us add even more. I talk about all these regions of the body. Are we not able to move these regions of the body according to our own wish? Can we? Can we move our fingers according to our own wish? Yes. Can we move our facial muscles according to our own wish? Neck, shoulder, all. But can we move our foot pipe and windpipe according to our own wish? No, because they are not made up of skeletal muscles. Can we move our heart according to our own wish? No. According to the need of the body, it will go on. According to the condition of the body, it will move on. No. So these type of muscles where the process of contraction, relaxation is according to our own wish. What type of muscles are they? Skeletal muscles. And what is this property of the muscle called? Voluntary muscles. Voluntary. So what did we learn? Some of the important terms. If it is the skeletal muscles, then they are multinucleated. If it is the skeletal muscles, they are multinucleated. And if it is the skeletal muscles, they are voluntary. Look at the next type. The next type of muscles that we are going to study would be the smooth muscles. The next type of muscles that we will study would be smooth muscles. From the name itself, smooth, unstriated. Smooth or unstriated muscles. We'll just finish with the diagram and then continue. These type of muscles are something this way. Spindle shaped, they are not cylindrical like the previous. They are spindle shaped like this. Spindle shaped muscles. Parts would more or less remain the same, I would write. This is a myofibrin. See, the structure remains different now. This is the sarcoplasm. This is the nucleus. This is the sarcolemma. These type of muscles are smooth muscles. So remember when we had written down that the muscle cells can be cylindrical or spindle shaped. Now we are talking about muscle cells which are spindle shaped. Okay. Take a break, and again after the break we'll continue. Try to finish these two types of tissues.
Initially, we are सवाल चल रही है. So yeah, class 245 का था.
जो मैंने अभी अभी रियलाइज किया.
Very good.
थैंक यू.
Yeah. मैं आशिका को मुझे नहीं वैसे देखी मैं शेयर करूँगी और मुझे कितना अच्छा लगी हूँ वो ऐसे ही उसको पुण्य का और वो इतना आवाज है उसको आया नहीं तो इतना नहीं छमा उसमें
मतलब जैसे पहना तो वैसे ही किया कुछ नहीं बस शेप अलग हाँ कोई कुछ अलग नहीं मैम ने सेम मॉडल में लिखा होगी
हमने ना चार कुछ हमको करके दिया है लोग एक तो मरते वाले पालन का अच्छा है
हाँ और 2 घंटे निकालने हम लोग
और 1-1.5 घंटा बाकी
2 घंटे पकड़ ले ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है
हाँ अब यार खाना के वो खाने के कम करना है यार।
अरे आप मैंने किया ही नहीं।
आज सबमिशन है।
आज 12 बजे का आज रात को 12 से पहले करना है।
कर ही दूंगा। कितना 10 से
आराम से हो जाएगा।
ठीक है 4 7 तक क्वेश्चन।
अब उसमें जो दिमाग खराब होता है।
मैं बोल रही इससे कम क्लास में कंट्रोल नहीं किया रैशनल इरेशनल।
स्टार्टिंग बहुत इजी था, बहुत आसान धोखा हुआ।
बहुत मेरे को तो बात बहुत इजी होने लग गया। मेरे को तो क्लास में नंबर नहीं अच्छा हो गया। इरेशनल या रैशनल है।
साथ बोल लेंगे।
जब तक मेरे को अच्छा वही
अरे रुक नहीं इसका बोल।
मेरी इंग्लिश सेकंड में सबसे कम आया। क्वेश्चन ठीक लगा है। 70 आया 70।
अब अगले वाले बोलते हैं
क्लिक करने तो वाली है यहाँ पे तो परेशान नहीं किया। पे उसका अभी हम नेक्स्ट
हां अगले मार्क्स इधर है।
अबे आज सबमिशन है आज क्लास सबमिशन आ रहा है 59 तक ना।
10 बजे होगा।
हाँ वो भी टाइम पे भी नहीं दूंगा मैं भी टाइम
और उसके दिमाग उधर फटफट करना पड़ेगा।
डायरेक्ट होगा सबसे स्मार्ट।
वो ऐसे ही रहेगा असाइनमेंट मतलब ऑन द स्पॉट करना पड़ेगा। चूज करना पड़ेगा ऑप्शन देगा।
एमसीक्यू की तरह है, बस एमसीक्यू में ज्यादा सिरदर्द नहीं होता, यहाँ पर बहुत होता है। वैसे तुक्के मार के करेक्ट लाता हूँ।
सारे एमसीक्यू नहीं है, देखो बीच में मतलब ब्लैंक दिया रहेगा वो लिखना है, सारे एमसीक्यूज नहीं है उसमें।
वो भी
मेरे को 3 घंटे लगे थे वो करने के लिए।
श्रिया फिजिक्स पढ़ के आई हो
क्या?
फिजिक्स का डिफिकल्ट था।
अभी आई हो।
अच्छा उसको याद नहीं था कि
फिजिक्स
दो
अच्छे
बार
से पढ़ के आई हो समझा।
मेरे को सुनाई नहीं दे रहा क्या फिजिक्स?
बोल लूं बोल।
जान ले वो पागल।
अबे फिजिक्स पढ़ के आना बहुत डिफिकल्ट पेपर है।
अभी पढ़ के आने से कुछ नहीं होता हम लोग।
ओके, थैंक यू फॉर द वार्निंग।
पिक्चर निकालने का कुछ से ये देखिए क्या है।
अरे मेरा नहीं आया ना।
नहीं आएगा स्क्वायर में हां तो आने
क्यों
अबे अच्छा ठीक है आपको बोला मेरे को सारे को बताया क्या
बताऊंगा ही नहीं होगा।
एंजॉय करना चटनी करना
मेवा तो शांत से बताएगा मैं वो स्वतः छोड़ दे सुनाऊंगी।
पता नहीं मेरे छेवे कैसा है, मेरे लगता है मेरे वाला गलत है।
अरे चैट कर रही है।
I studying with sleep at others.
चलो देखने पीछे निकल
मेरा इससे भी आशा है कि मैं यहाँ पे
अगर बॉले को
सही में सॉल्व कर रहा है के
तो बस ये करना है बताओ।
अबे भाई अबे केमिस्ट्री
ये तो स्टैक का है ना।
हां वैसे बायो में कुछ करने नहीं वाला उसमें इतना रैंडमली मैंने किया था, मैं बस नीचे बैठ के
हाँ कल मुझे देखा मैं ऐसे ही
कल नहीं परसों बात हो।
और ये मेरे क्या है। अरे दूसरा बैठ तो ये नहीं
इसको
अरे इधर जाना
इसको बोल करो।
अरे भाई
मैं कहां पे मिला तेरे
अरे दोस्त था एक पुराना अरे दोस्त
तो
लड़की नहीं थी वो।
हाँ ना दोस्त तो बोलो क्या पास नहीं है दोस्त
इसको इनसे ही काम
विलेज
अबे नीलेश का पहले से ही है। यूपी पहले से ही है। अरे आप वो खुशी है ना खुशी है
ना वो पागल है उसको वही कस्टमर समझ नहीं
मेरे को खत्म करना है कि मेरे बिना मतलब का ये नहीं कि कोई बोल रहा है पेरेंट्स से जिससे मैं कंप्लीट करूंगा। हाँ अगर वैसा होता है तो बता भी नहीं
होगा भाई तो मैंने किया है टाइम पास और मैंने कहा तू नीचे ना आए इसे सुनिए अरे उसकी पहले आईडी थी उससे चेक किया
अरे मेरी ग्रुप बस खत्म करके जाने
मामले दूसरी
क्या वो आईडी से काट करता रहेगा
तेरे पता है आज मतलब ना
मैंने इंस्टा पे बहुत सारे
वो बंदा 8 घंटा पढ़ता है। हाँ मैं उससे मिला था ना अपने पढ़ता है तो 8 घंटा अरे नहीं अरे वो वैसा दिखता भी वो 8 घंटा पढ़ता है। अभी मिला था मेरे को ये संडे को बंदा बोलता है कि मैं तो संडे को नीचे खेल सकता वरना बाकी सारा दिन 8 घंटा से पढ़ता रहता हूँ मैं हर दिन खेल सकता हूँ। हाँ मैं भी सिर्फ वेकेशन में खेलने का टाइम रखती हूँ उसके बाद मैं अपना प्रोजेक्ट खत्म कर रहा हूँ बहुत सारा
एक नहीं यूनिवर्स में स्टोरी वैसे ही था
तू ईशान को जानती है ईशान ईशान साला से आंसर क्या स्पेक्स आंसर
अरे
ये तो ज्यादा से आगे आ गया दोस्त भी था वो सेकंड स्टैंडर्ड ऐसा आ गया
दोस्त यार कोई बात नहीं
अच्छा नाम गुप्ता ना हाँ अपने बिल्डिंग के बाजू में रहता है।
हाँ वो अपने सामने
तो आपने उसने डिस्कॉर्ड पे मुझे बोला ये मेरा सोसाइटी में रहता है
चम्मच गिरा हुआ किसी का पता नहीं प्लास्टिक की चम्मच से नीचे
आप यूज करो डिस्कॉर्ड
वो अपना 30 को खत्म होता है।
एक मिनट
अरे वो बडीज पर दूसरा बनाया था
बडीज पर लाइक ना
नहीं वो पुराना है
अच्छा नया वाला
हाँ डिस्कॉर्ड पे भी बना है डिस्कॉर्ड पे तो 3 बनाए
कौन सा है वो बोल
हाँ
कौन सा वाला
डिस्कॉर्ड
अब तभी तो जॉइन हुआ रहा था
व्हाट्सएप का
हाँ तो बोल
उसमें
अबे पागल
अरे सबसे नहीं वो मिक्सर को मैंने बहुत किया है
क्या हुआ?
अरे कुछ नहीं
पवार रुक तू मेरे को एक बार बस मुंबई में आने दे उसके बाद देख
भाई गजब बेइज्जती वो क्या किया अरे फेक आईडी बनाना
नहीं मैं नहीं करता अच्छा भाई तेरा चेहरा
नहीं आया वो साइड में
मेरे को याद भी आई इससे याद
और भी आएगी यस श्रिया मैसेज किया समझा ना
इतना चौड़ में क्यों बोल रहा है
मैसेज किया तेरे पापा को
सबको मैसेज किया श्रिया
सबको
क्या बोल रहे हो तुम? ठीक से तो बोल रहे थे आवाज आ रहा नहीं
तेरा एब्सेंट मैसेज क्या आ गया
ये सबसे ज्यादा ऑकवर्ड मोमेंट ना अभी तक इसमें होगा फिजिक्स वाले में 3 घंटे
लोग मेरे को पागल कर दोगे
अबे अभी तो सारा है तो
3 घंटा केमिस्ट्री में तो घुसा दूंगा तो 3 घंटे केमिस्ट्री तो वैसे भी स्टार्ट
चेक कर अपने पापा का
3 घंटा केमिस्ट्री सैटरडे को है ना
मुझे जीमेल पे भी जाता है जीमेल पे भी जाता है
सब पे जाएगा सब पे
मेरा सब पे आया था ये नहीं हर दिन नहीं डालता, कभी कभी डालता। नहीं मैं डायरेक्ट इधर से निकला अभी इंस्टा पे स्क्रॉल करते डाला था मैंने। अबे मैंने कुछ नहीं डाला, डालू क्या
डालना मिशन डाल दो, फोल्डर निकाल लो, तो ऐसे क्या करा ये वहां पर मिशन डाल और ना कितना आशीर्वाद में 500 रुपए लेगी पर और रात को
अबे वो इसको मैसेज डाला था।
हां
अबे इमेज को मैसेज डाला था, सब लोग मैसेज कर रहे थे ये क्या हुआ
अगर मैं बहुत किया है
अरे सब लोग मैसेज डाल। अबे ये तो कुछ
हम लोग स्कूल में
बहुत
बहुत
सबसे कम किया था, इसका पे बात हुआ
बहुत कार्ड सा करते हो
क्या
स्कूल में तो
अरे
बहुत
स्कूल
किया
में तो क्या किया
स्कूल का तो छोड़ ही स्कूल में ये सब करना
कल जो लेक्चर था तेरे को पता है कि नेक्स्ट द लेक्चर वाला चीज तेरे को तो पता है क्या नेक्स्ट द लेक्चर मैं फाइल नहीं देखो मुझे बहुत मैं जाके नाम अभी पूछूंगा तो बस था साइन तक किया था मैंने तुझे कोई भी हां मैंने दो दिन एक दिन अगर करना टेस्ट था और फिर दूसरा मतलब और फिर एक और दिन हिंदी का था मैंने 4 दिन
आवाज रुक तू बस एक बार मेरे को आने दे वहां पे।
कर रहे हैं इंस्टा पे बनाने
रोज मोबाइल
तो तुम नहीं दे रहे
अबे तो मोबाइल
मैंने काम कर तो मैं भी काम
अरे लाड है
और लंबी काम गांव चलता है
क्या
मजे करियो मोबाइल में यार सारे का कुछ करे सब बहुत बड़े हैं सारे
तुझे क्या लगता है तू कान में बोलेगा तो मेरे को सुनाई नहीं देगा क्या?
जानबूझ के लोग चिल्ला चिल्ला के बोल रहे थे कुछ चिल्ला चिल्ला के अब बोल क्या बोला आपने बोल
नहीं बोलूंगा सीक्रेट।
I guess मैं हमको थोड़ा सा समझे तो थोड़ा देखता है कि
जाने का क्या
अभी नहीं बात अबे
मजा आएगा अभी अंदर से गुस्सा आएगा
मैं बस पिज़्ज़ा
मुझे तो मैंने
नहीं
क्या चादर का मस्त
दो हफ्ते के लिए लोग जो आपने से
Okay, did you finish drawing this diagram?
Yes, ma'am.
So let us continue. Functional unit myofibril that remains the same. This type of muscle does not have any striations, no light and dark bands. Put it on, put it inside. This type of muscles, myofibrils, will not have any type of striations, and the muscle fibers are spindle shaped. They are uninucleated. What is the meaning of this? Only one nucleus. Per fiber, per cell, only one nucleus, no? So uninucleated. Location, where are they present? These type of muscles are majorly present where? In the inner region of our body, softer regions of our body. For example, internal organs, I would write stomach, I would write food pipe, I would write blood vessels, I would write intestines. So all these internal organs of our body are made up of smooth muscles. All these are made up of smooth muscles. Our eye muscles, stomach, pancreas, food pipe, windpipe, blood vessels, intestine, all these are made up of smooth muscles. Now, next is we talk about its function.
That second quadrant structure, what is the double?
No striations, does not have any light dark bands like the previous. No striations. No striations. Okay, so the location we have learned. Now let us learn the function. What about the function? What type of muscles are these and what type of function? Now these muscles, the contraction and relaxation according to the need of the body. The process of contraction and relaxation is according to the need of the body, and that's the reason such type of muscles are known as involuntary. Earlier we had learned voluntary muscles. When we say voluntary means what? A type of muscles where we can bring about the contraction and relaxation according to our own wish, according to our own will. But now, can we talk about contracting, relaxing our stomach? Food pipe, windpipe, blood vessels, no, we cannot. And that will contract only according to the need of the body. Then what are those type of muscles? Called involuntary. Involuntary muscles. So what are some of the features? So far smooth muscles are concerned. They are spindle shaped, myofibrils are spindle shaped. How many nucleus? Only one. So uninucleated. Next is what? Where they are present, like these 3 locations you should know, and what is their function. Now, another function we should also understand about the smooth muscles are that is, these smooth muscles we said that they can very well help in the contraction relaxation as per the need of the body. So that means because of the contraction relaxation of the smooth muscles of the stomach, the food will keep moving from one part of the alimentary canal to the other, from one part of the body to the other. Because of the contraction relaxation of the blood vessels, the blood will keep flowing. So now here we will write that because of the contraction relaxation of these type of smooth muscles, the passage of food, movement of blood or circulation of the blood, all these are associated with the contraction relaxation of the smooth muscle, because it happens according to the need of the body, not due to our wish or will. Third type of muscles that we will learn would be cardiac muscles. Actually, cardiac muscles also can be termed as striated, but the type is different, of course. Let us try to draw the diagram of cardiac muscles.
Ma'am,
Yes, Pandan, bolo.
Ma'am, what is the fourth point under structure, ma'am? New.
Uninucleated. U N I
Oh, you and
E N E A T E D. Uninucleated.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
So how did I draw? You may find it confusing. How did I draw? This is, just follow what I'm drawing. This is one filament, this is one microfibril, but the microfibril has got these type of branches. This type of side branches they have. This type of side branches. And then the other filament, the other myofibril here. And then the other myofibril here. And then the other myofibril here. आया समझ में? This is what you have to draw. Why with the pen you are drawing? Pencil. Specific diagrams, these are, you will be asked to draw in your exam. Pencil carry करना है. Structure, what to write? Here also the functional units are myofibril, that is constant. Consists of striations. They do have striations, but is it the same type of striations as the light and the dark bands? No, that's different. No. So they have light striations, but not exactly like the light and the dark bands of the skeletal muscles. Then muscle fibers are cylindrical. These are also cylindrical. Spindle shaped are only the smooth muscles. They are also cylindrical in shape. Cylindrical. ये ट्यूब जैसे होगा ना, जैसे छोटे-छोटे connections है. That way you should know. Now, location. Where are these type of muscles present? Cardiac muscles only and only in the heart. Cardiac muscles only in the heart. This type of muscles are also involuntary, same like the previous that we heard. Help say the pumping of the blood. Help say the pumping of the blood in the heart. Help say pumping of the blood in the heart. So these are the three types of muscles and their figures, their diagrams that you should practice. According to questions asked in the paper, you are always to know major features about the structure. What about their function and where are they present? And where are they present? Complete structure, function. Same है, functional unit तीनों में same रहेगा, myofibril. They are known by the same names all over, all the three known by the same names. Consists of striations, lesser than skeletal, and muscle fibers are cylindrical. Same like smooth muscles, they are uninucleated. Functions, contracts and relaxes according to the need of the body. So such type of muscles are called involuntary. Helps in the pumping of the blood in the heart. Once you are done with this, write down this question. Write down this question. You will make a column and then you will write. Make a column and then write. Two differences. Two differences here. So, one part. So about the muscular tissues, you have to learn this much. 3 types of muscles, their respective locations, structural features, specialized features, and their functions. That's it. Nothing more. Diagrams are important. We'll have to practice these 3 diagrams for drawing. Biologically now. Ask again.
It's we go to man for us, it's
Very comes to them.
she's my class teacher. She's my class teacher.
And you guys teacher into Peter man is not there. Ranjana is there.
Yes.
She's high.
Oh, yeah.
I asked you 2 differences between skeletal and cardiac muscles. What is the first point that you will write? Cardiac muscles, uninucleated, skeletal muscles, cardiac, Number 2, what skeletal muscles are voluntary, just like one word. Voluntary, cardiac muscles are involuntary. Is there any difference more that we can write? Location, correct. According to the location of it, can write a difference. Which parts of the body they are present in? Which parts of the body they are present in? That also you can write as a difference. Done all of you? Finished? So one type of tissues we have already completed, that is muscular tissues. Now we are going to talk about nervous tissues. Let us learn. Nervous tissues. The second type of tissues, so far animal tissues concerned, we are going to take up nervous tissues. Now, when I talk about nervous tissues, and if I ask you, where are they present? What do they do? Let me just show you some images about nerves. How do they appear? They carry what? Now, let me just show you a simple nervous tissue. First of all, let us see this. I'll share this. First of all, let us try to see this structure. I don't want to touch this. Are you able to see? दिखाई दे रहा है? Now, this is how the nervous tissues, meaning if we happen to see the opened up regions of our body in any part of our body, we will always see some white thread-like structures inside. One is the blood vessels, of course, which are colored either dark reddish or light red in color. Parallelly, there are another type of thread-like structures in, and they are whitish. They don't have any color. So these are those bundles of thread-like structures which are put together, which is known as the nerves of our body. What I said, in any part of our body, that can be the face and the neck and the shoulder and the legs and the hands, anyway, if the skin is cut open, we can easily see long, white, thread-like structures. In a network, they are present in our body, all over our body. So what do we call these thread-like structures as? What are they known as? This type of thread-like structures are known as nerves. These are known as nerves. Same like the muscular tissue, as I said, take a small bundle of the tissue and then we have to find out the finest thread, and these are all the finest threads that we are drawing. What are these finest threads known as myofibril? Same like that, when we talk about a nervous tissue, which is a bundle of many such thread-like structures, and you tease them and try to find out the finest thread, what is the finest thread known as? The finest thread is known as the neurons or the nerve cells. The neurons. So nerves, what is the definition of the nerves? Nerves consists of a bundle of neurons or nerve cells. And these nerve cells is what I'm going to show you again. So this is the neuron, first of all, I said, and cut open a small region to see the finest thread. This is what a nerve cell looks like. Okay, look at this figure. Can you see this structure? The nerve cell. How does a nerve cell look like? How does a nerve cell appear? How does a nerve cell appear? In our body, the nerve cells are arranged like this, one to the other, one to the other, one to the other. They are connected. One to the other, they are connected. And what are some of the parts? Can you first of all see? Okay, look into this nerve. Spandan, can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, this nerve, can you see this nerve? First of all, I talk about the blue region. Can you see the blue region here? Which is the main cell part. Which is the main cell part. So what are the parts of the nerve cell? Let us learn the names for it. What are the parts of the nerve cell? The parts of the nerve cell. First is known as the cell body or the cytone. Which part is the cytone? This blue region is the cytone. Cell body, the main part of the cell, main part of the nerve cell. What is the second region? The second region we try to understand. Dekho. Surrounding the cell body, can you see this fine network of short thread-like structures? These network of thread-like structures, what are these called? These are called dendrites. And then can you see this long thread-like structure? Only one single present per nerve cell. One single present per nerve cell. One single present. So now, if I show you any other structure, see there, all of them are like that. Short processes which are known as dendrites. Then this region, the violet region, what is this called? Cell body or cytosol. And then this will have only a long thread-like structure. Only a single long thread-like structure it will have. A single long thread-like structure. What is that single long thread-like structure known as? This is known as the axon. So these are the three parts of a nerve cell, also known as neurons. What is a nerve cell known as? Neurons. A nerve cell is also known as neurons. What are the parts? Cell body, dendrites, axon. Now we have to draw the structure of the nerve cell body. We'll try, the structure of the neuron, and then we'll try to find out what are their respective functions. Okay, let's see there. What are their respective functions? So first of all, we have to draw the diagram of the nerve cell. Let us draw that. We draw the diagram of the nerve cell, and then we'll write down functions for each one. node of Ranvier जहाँ पे myelin sheath MYELIN myelin sheath this region is the myelin sheath. Okay, when you label the diagram. So dendron कौन सा है? Dendron is this. When I draw the cell body, I have drawn this way, no? ये जो यहाँ से branches निकल रहा है, इसको बोलेंगे dendron, इसको बोलेंगे dendrites. Clear है? अच्छा, अभी axon how did I draw? This is the axon, say suppose. Axon के पास एक fatty tissue होता है like this. Then there is another protective cover, ऐसे. Then there is another protective cover. तो ये जो fatty tissue है, इसको label करोगे myelin sheath. And ये जो protective cover है, इसको label करोगे neurolemma. दोनों न्यूरोलेमा के बीच में एक गैप है, इसको लेबल करोगे नोड ऑफ रैनवियर. Node of Ranvier. And what else? ये बीच में एक न्यूक्लियस जैसे रहता है, that is what is known as, which helps in the formation of the myelin sheath. इसको बोलेंगे Schwann cell. Schwann cell. And the rest of the parts are clear. Let us now learn the functions of each of these parts. So, what are you supposed to understand? The nervous tissue. First of all, I was saying the nervous tissue हमारे body में कहाँ पे होता है? All over the body. State the location of the nerves. State the location of the nervous tissues. क्या लिखेंगे? All over the body. Can we name any region जहाँ पे nerves नहीं है? No, almost everywhere. Everywhere. So now, what are the major parts? Yes, वैसे तो काफी सारे parts है. We are talking about the dendron and the dendrites and the missile granules. A special type of granules which release pigments are there in the nerve cell body, and this is what is responsible for a silvery gray color that the nerves has. Actually, we say they are white, but they are actually not white. They are not perfectly white, but they are grayish, silvery grayish. They are silvery color. Okay, missile granules. Nucleus. Any cell would always have the nucleus that you already know now. But a special feature of the nucleus, you had already studied about the centrosome and the centriole now. You know the centrosome and centriole. So centrosome or centriole क्या करता है? What does it do? Get studied. इसीलिए मैं पूछ रही हूँ. Centrosome and centriole. What is the function you have studied? कौन बोलेगा? सेंट्रोसोम एंड सेंट्रियोल का फंक्शन क्या था? स्पंदन सो गए क्या?
नो मैम.
बताओ, सेंट्रियोल एंड सेंट्रोसोम का फंक्शन क्या है? सब लोग बिजी है. पेजेस. हाँ, आशिता को मिल गया. सेल डिवीजन. It helps in the process of cell division. और हमेशा animal cells में ही होता है. Plant cells में centriole absent है. Plant cells में कभी भी centriole centrosome नहीं होता. This is the nerve cell जिसमें centrioles absent रहता है. One type of animal cell जहाँ पे centrioles absent है. Example nerve cells. वैसे तो हमने ये पढ़ा है कि एनिमल सेल्स में सेंट्रियोल प्रेजेंट है, प्लांट सेल्स में एब्सेंट है, बट एक्सेप्शन है. सम टाइप ऑफ एनिमल सेल्स आल्सो मे नॉट हैव द सेंट्रियोल. नर्व सेल इज एन एक्सेप्शन जहां पे सेंट्रियोल्स नहीं है, एंड दैट इज द रीजन द नर्व सेल्स कैन नॉट डिवाइड इन आवर बॉडी. हमारे बॉडी में नर्व सेल्स डिवाइड नहीं होता. डिड यू एवर नोटिस व्हेन यू फेल डाउन, व्हेन यू सफर फ्रॉम अ कट, wound, does that part of the body heal? हील होता है. In few days to a couple of weeks पूरा हील हो जाता है. We don't even understand कहाँ पे we had suffered from the cut or the wound or the fall. But If it is for a nerve cell, if say suppose somebody suffers from a accident or because of shock trauma की वजह से भी nerve cells damage होते हैं, large sound की वजह से भी nerve cells damage हो सकता है of sensory organs. So is it possible that the nerve cells again repair and divide and again the new cells are formed in our body from time to time? No. That is the reason when the nerve cells of our ears and eyes or brain, etc., are damaged, no, there is no chance of repair because the nerve cells will not divide. We are born with millions of nerve cells, of course, but as and when we grow, as and when we develop, as and when we mature, nerve cells तो damage हो ही सकता है. And especially if anybody suffers from some major problems or encounters an accident or something like this, then the nerve cells are as it is damaged. So अगर nerve cells damaged होता है, say suppose if a person has suffered from a major accident, पूरा skin चला गया and the part of the body, some one or two parts of the body got damaged, that much also can be healed. That much also can be healed, you know. Whenever a person suffers from during sports or something, major cut, major bruise, major wound, that also gets healed up. But if the nerve cells are damaged, that cannot get healed up because the nerve cell nucleus does not possess centrosome. That's the reason the process of cell division cannot happen. So that's a property of the new nerve cells that you have to always remember. Now next is what I talk about the neurolemma. What is neurolemma? It is the outer protective cover. Protective cover. It's an outer protective cover. What is the Schwann cell? It is something like the nucleus, which releases certain fatty substance, which is protecting the axon. They have the central rod-like structure, which is known as the axon, which is a very, very important part of the nerve cell. We'll learn what is the function. It's a very, very important part of the nerve cell, and this needs to be protected. And this is protected by some fatty tissues, fatty tissues, fatty tissues. What is the name of the fatty tissue? Myelin sheath. And the myelin sheath is produced from the Schwann cell itself. The Schwann cell secretes this myelin, secretes these fatty substances, which spreads up all over all on the outer surface of the axon and protecting it. And this neurolemma is not a continuous cover, but remains broken at certain regions. Wherever the neurolemma is broken, is it not the axon exposed? Axon exposed हो जाता है ना? I drew the axon this way. ये है axon, and I'm drawing the neurolemma this way. So जहाँ पे neurolemma नहीं है, the axon is exposed, no? So this region where the neurolemma is broken and the axon is exposed, you'll also learn the significance of the next standard in detail. But now you remember this. Where the neurolemma is broken and the axon is exposed, इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Node of Ranvier. This region is known as node of Ranvier. It has got a great significance when we talk about message conduction. That you will learn later. और कौन से part याद रखना है? Axon, the rod-like structure, and last ends of the axon terminals. So अभी सबसे important जो हमें सीखना है dendrites. Cyton. Cyton का other name क्या है? Perikaryon. Perikaryon. That's the other word for cyton. Alternative name for cyton. Cyton का एक और नाम भी है, that is very simply known as the cell body also. So अभी हमें सीखना है functions of dendrites, function of cyton, and function of axon. Only this much. So let us see now, one after the other, the parts and their functions. Only 3 parts and their functions you have to study. First, I will start with dendrites. What does the dendrites do? The dendrites receives stimulus. The dendrites receive stimulus. Then where does the stimulus go? The stimulus will now go to the cyton, also known as the cell body. What does the cyton do? The cyton releases enzymes after receiving the stimulus, and prepares the axon for conduction of messages. That is the function of the cytone. Next is what? Axon. What is the function of the axon? Axon is concerned with the conduction of the message, the conduction of impulses, which also mean messages from one neuron to another. So this is what you have to understand. When I said that dendrites helps in receiving stimulus. Now these two words you have to understand. What is the meaning of the word stimulus and what is the meaning of the word impulse? Stimulus matlab kya? Now see, now I am talking. I am saying something, no? I am saying something. Which part of your body is able to receive this message? Ears. Your ears have a large number of neurons, and these neurons of the ears are receiving my voice, the sound that you can hear. So I would say that my voice, my speech is acting as a stimulus for you, for your neurons. For your neurons of the ear, my speech is acting as a stimulus. So what is the meaning of the word stimulus? Any change that is happening in the external environment that our neurons can receive. Any change that is happening in the external environment that our neurons can receive. Achha, apart from my voice, can you give me another example of stimulus right in this room that your neurons are receiving? Fan. Light, what about light? Your neurons of the eye can receive the light. The light is also acting as a stimulus. Or else what? Or else what?
Ma'am, the AC?
AC, the cool breeze of the AC.
Yes, ma'am.
Neurons of your skin can receive. Correct? But ये मैसेज रिसीव करने के बाद do we show any action? ये जो मैसेज हम रिसीव करते हैं, I am saying something. I am saying, Ashita, take out your book. Will Ashita sit like that? No, she will take out her book. Did she show a reaction? Yes, she did. Why did she show a reaction? Because Ashita could receive my words. She could hear my voice. Ears, neurons of the ears could receive stimulus. So my voice is acting as a stimulus. These words or these messages entered your neurons in different parts of your body, your brain, etc. And the messages got transferred. These messages which got transferred is what is known as impulses. Now the messages went to your hand and you could pick up, with the coordination of your brain, you could pick up the right book. Now right after the bell rings, will I be able to make you sit here? No. Why not? What is acting as a stimulus now? The sound of the bell acts as a stimulus. Which part of your body receiving the message? Ears. Then which part of your body is processing the message? Brain. And then what is your reaction? Ma'am, please take a side. We want to go out. So that is your reaction. So now the hand muscles, leg muscles are getting the commands of the brain. That it is time to go out and enjoy the fresh air. So now this is what we are talking about as passage or the conduction of the message, passing of the information from one part to the other. एक part receive करेगा And this will send the message to other parts of the body and ultimately to the hands, eyes, and the face and the legs. So this is what is known as impulse. What is impulse? The messages which are passing. But messages कौन से part of the neurons से actually pass होता है? By the way of the long axon. तो एक न्यूरॉन में कितने डेंड्राइट्स रहते हैं? बहुत सारे, numerous. कितना axon कितना रहता है? Only one. So if I ask you now to write down two differences between the dendrites and the axons, will you be able to write? One structural difference लिखना है, one functional difference लिखना है. We wind up with this today, but our let us complete. So what did we learn? ये तीन functions बहुत important है. You have to remember. अच्छी तरह से लिखो. Spandhan done. Dendrites receive stimulus. So stimulus, I give you 5 examples of stimulus. The sound is a stimulus. Temperature difference is a stimulus. I prick him. That's a stimulus. He removes his hand. He moves away his hand. He draws his hand. Touch, prick, stimulus. Shout, cry, stimulus. Light, stimulus. And different parts of it. And now, when once our parts receive the stimulus, the cytone inside the brain cells, they start releasing chemicals which will allow the axon to carry the message further. Make a column, write down two differences between axon and dendrites. Two differences between axon and dendrites. One difference should be the structural difference. Meaning what? For dendrites, you should write they are short. They are short processes. Axon में लिखोगे, it is a long process. They are short processes. Dendrites. Axon में लिखोगे, it is a long process. Axon एक है, dendrites many. अच्छा, एक और feature जो याद रखना है. See, dendrites are branched, no? Branched it is. Under dendrites, you will write the second point. They are branched. Axon branched है क्या देखो? Diagram में axon branched है. Does axon has branches? Not it. This is the last part of the axon. यहाँ पे all throughout. Does it have branches? No. So dendrites में second point देखोगे. Dendrites they are branched. Axon में लिखोगे they are unbranched. Axon में they are unbranched. They are unbranched. They are unbranched. Dendrites में they are branched और axon में they are unbranched. Third difference. Third difference. For dendrites, they receive stimulus. अभी function लिखो. They receive stimulus. They receive stimulus. That also can be written. Then what is the function of axon? Conduction of impulse. Conduction of impulses. Conduction of impulses. So that's the function. Conduction of impulses. There's a question in your book, page 32, question number 2. Complete karo. 42, page 32, question number 2. Page 32, question number 2. What is the difference between nervous tissue and nervous system? Likho. In the book only you can write. If it is If the questions are not very explanatory, then down there is a space for the answer. There itself you can with pencil. Nervous tissue and nervous system. Write down. No, where is it? Where is it? Where did you see that? Nervous tissue, nervous system.
This one. See second one.
No, those questions we'll do later. I'm talking about only number 2 here. The diagram of the
This one.
only that is it. Nervous system and nervous tissue, that I will give you in the notebook later. Book नहीं है, textbook नहीं है. हाँ? मिली नहीं है कैसे? स्कूल से लेना है. स्कूल से लेना है कि बाहर से खरीदना है? तो अभी तक तुम किस लिए वेट कर रहे हो? दिवाली के लिए? नहीं आए बुक्स अभी. कहाँ से? भावेश से? कहाँ से? ऑनलाइन. अरे ऑनलाइन क्यों करते हो तुम लोग? ऑनलाइन में बहुत देर होता है. ऑनलाइन में बहुत, हमेशा बुक स्टोर से जाके ले लो ना. बुक स्टोर में इजी होता है क्योंकि अभी तुम अटक गए हो. अभी तो पैसा भी दे दिया, अभी तुम बुक स्टोर से नहीं ले सकते. अभी तुम्हारा ऑनलाइन जब आएगा. सो या एनीवे, शेयर द बुक विथ हिम प्लीज. वॉल्यूम है किसी के पास? Read that question and after that you do some few questions from the volume. The next day we start with another 2-3 types of tissues. Tissues is a big chapter. I'll go slowly, but every day you have to read at home. Otherwise, by the time I finish with the entire chapter, it will be fully lost. What that says now? What is the function of nerve cell?
Seems to be
The function of nerve cell is carry out coordination, coordination. Nerve cells carry out nervous coordination, rather be right. That's perfect. Nerve cells carry out, nervous tissues carry out nervous coordination. Nervous coordination. So we are already done with this. One pencil. Actually, take a pencil.
yes.
Take 5. What is that? The function of nervous tissues, function of nerve cells to carry out nervous coordination. Specifically, when you are asked what is the function of dendrites, then you write about the series stimulus, axon, conduction of impulses. Right, 5. Fill in the blanks. The book does not have too many questions, so there should be enough questions that you solve. Whatever, 5, fill in the blanks, and then if there is time, we'll start with the connective tissues. Number 1, fill in the blanks. Number 1. Dash. Protects the dash. I'm sorry, just the word. Dash is a fatty tissue. Dash is a fatty tissue that protects the axon. Dash is a fatty tissue that protects the axon. Now, one word about the myelin sheath that you should always remember, which you will also get at times as question is, I said that this myelin sheath is a fatty tissue. It's a layer of fatty tissues. Now, this is fatty tissues, and that's the reason I said that this fatty tissue always protects the entire axon. And when I talk about protecting, it is also actually not allowing any messages to get lost from the axon. Something like, if you see the electrical wires, these wires, they have those, first of all, the copper wires, the copper wires are inside, and then the copper wires are covered by those plastic casings. And we say that the plastic casing is acting as a insulator. What is the meaning of that? Plastic does not allow the passage of the electrons, the passage of the charges. So the copper wires will, as it is, be able to carry the charger from one part of the other very, very effectively. So now, almost the same thing, the axon should be able to carry the messages very effectively. Then only our response will be very fast and very sharp. So इसीलिए हमारे body में the axons are always wrapped up by this tissues of fats. What are these? Insulin I'm sorry, what are these? Insulated cover. What is this insulated cover known as? Myelin sheath. So you're also asked a question at times. Name the part of the neuron which acts as an insulated cover around the axon, and your answer is myelin sheath. So also to remember, myelin sheath acts as an insulated cover. So the first question, dash is a layer of fatty tissue, a layer of fatty tissue which protects the axon. Which protects the axon. Full stop. Number two, the main function of the axon is to conduct dash. Main function of the axon is to conduct dash. Number three. Dendrites are dash and dash on, present on the outer surface of the cell body. Present on the outer surface of the cell body. Number three. Number four. Dash muscles are striated and involuntary. Number five. Parts like neck and shoulder contain dash muscles. Number six. Dash is the outer covering of the axon. Number seven. Dash tissues are contractile. Last one, number eight. Dash tissues never show division and repair. चलो फटाफट करो. Spandan, did you get all the questions?
Yes, ma'am. I'm writing the answers.
Chalo, come. हाँ, क्या हुआ? हो गया? All done. Done? All of you got the answers? सारे?
Same question.
बोलो इसमें
Number
डालो.
3.
बोलो question read.
Dendrites are dash and dash present on outer surface of the cell body.
हाँ. क्या लिखना है? क्या लिखना है? दो आंसर क्या है? Short and branched. Short and branched. अगर यही क्वेश्चन में मैं एक्सॉन दे दूं तो क्या लिखोगे?
Long and unbranched.
Unbranched. Long and unbranched. These are the typical questions you get in the paper. याद रखना है. Let us learn the third type of tissue. It's a big. अच्छा बोलो.
Dash with the outer covering of cell.
क्या है? देखो ना डायग्राम तो है. न्यूरोलेमा. न्यूरोलेमा. Done? Good. So are you okay with these two topics? What did we finish? Muscular tissues, nervous tissues. Connective tissue is a big concept, but let us start. Spandan, yeah.
So connective tissue.
हाँ? अच्छा. श्रेया है.
Rama को आ गई, भूल गई थी वो क्लास का.
अरे श्रेया, you are there? तो कोई response ही नहीं है.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
और
I'm speaking, but there's a problem.
अच्छा, could you follow all these questions that I gave you? Did you write?
Yes, ma'am. I could hear almost all of them.
अच्छा.
I wrote, ma'am, I noted them.
Answers. Are you sure about all the answers? Did you write? Answers, did you write correctly?
Yes, ma'am, I'm solving. I'm actually, the screen share is still loading.
Okay.
Huh. Yes, ma'am, I can see it now.
Is she in touch with any of you contact है किसी के साथ? अच्छा, तुम्हारे साथ. अगर कुछ answers, are you from the same
Yes,
school?
ma'am.
Yes. So in case she has a doubt with any of the, क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? Vedant. Shreya, in case you are not able to get the questions and the answers, you may ask me now. अगर कोई question miss out हो गया है, answer if you are not able to understand. या तो if you are in contact with them, take down the previous lecture के तुमने miss किया ना?
Previous, yes, ma'am.
हाँ. Previous lecture में जो हमने complete किया, that also you have to take down. If possible,
Yes,
from
ma'am.
you take down, or else next time when you come, you ask. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'll complete it.
Connective tissues. Now we are going to connective tissues. Let us talk about the third type of tissues. Animal tissue, the third type. Connective tissues. First of all, we'll try to understand what is the nature of this entire. First of all, ये समझो कि connective tissues हमारी body में कहाँ पे होता है. Connective tissues are present in our body between our organs. Connective tissue is present in our body between our bones. The bones that we know itself is a connective tissue. The blood that we have itself is a connective tissue. तो जो भी टिश्यू हमारे बॉडी पार्ट्स को ऑर्गन्स को कनेक्ट करता है दैट इज अ कनेक्टिव टिश्यू. बट हाँ, कॉम्पोजिशन फ्रॉम टाइप टू टाइप विल डिफर. आई सेड ब्लड एक कनेक्टिव टिश्यू है, बोन एक कनेक्टिव टिश्यू है. द कनेक्टिव टिश्यू इज आल्सो प्रेजेंट बिटवीन आवर organs of the body, like between the stomach, intestine, pancreas, liver. ये सारे organs को जो जोड़ता है, the type of tissue is connective tissue. इसीलिए whenever you are upside down, क्या तुम्हारा liver and lungs सब निकल के आता है? No, does it dislocate from the part of our body? कुछ नहीं होता. Because internally the tissues are so tightly built up. We jump. Does the organs move? No. Upside down. Gymnastics जो करते हैं, they roll and twist and do the organs ever move from the parts that they are in? No. Why not? Why not? Because internally every organ is bound. They are bonded with long strands of tissue. And now I am talking about such type of a tissue. This is touch me not. हाँ? Touch me not सुना है ना? Touch me not. क्या होता है टच मी नॉट पर टच करेंगे तो बंद हो. ये भी टच मी नॉट है, इसको टच करेंगे तो बंद हो जाता है. Now, so connective tissues. Now we are talking about connective tissues. What is the basic thing to understand? A type of a tissue which binds or forms the binding material, packing material between organs. Forms the packing material between organs. Forms the packing material between bones. Blood, a type of connective tissue. ये तो packing material नहीं है, but it basically helps in forming a connecting link between one organ to the other. Lungs से लेके ऑक्सीजन जाता है different tissues में से कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड उठा के फिर से लाता है lungs में. So it is helping in acting as a medium in between the different organs. So ये जो सारे types of tissues हमारे body में हैं, this is all known as connective tissue. So what are the different types we are going to talk about? Connective tissues can be studied under 4 heads. One is connective tissue proper. Connective tissue proper. Now in your book they have given the classification of connective tissue as per the function. I will first of all take the classification as per their types. That will be much easier for you to understand, and then I will also ask you to refer to the book to understand the functional part. So पहले क्या है? First of all, connective tissue proper ये हो गया. Then next is, let us get acquainted with the names first. एक है connective tissue proper, दूसरा है fluid connective tissue. Fluid connective tissue. Fluid connective tissue. What is the third? Third is fibrous. No, let us take skeletal first. Skeletal connective tissue.
Ma'am, could you share the board?
हाँ, एक मिनट. So we talk about connective tissues. Where I said connective tissues के types क्या है? First of all is connective tissue proper, fluid connective tissue, skeletal connective tissue, and then last we talk about is fibrous connective tissues. Under these four categories, what are the types that we have to study? The first is under connective tissue proper, we will be talking about areolar connective tissues. We will be talking about adipose connective tissues. Under the concept of fluid connective tissues, we will be talking about blood. We will be talking about lymph. Under the concept of skeletal connective tissues, we will be learning about bone. We will be learning about cartilage. Under the concept of fibrous connective tissues, we will be learning about ligaments. And we will be learning about tendons. So 6 types of connective tissues we are going to learn. 6 types of connective tissues we are going to come across. Connective tissue proper, areolar, adipose, 2 types. Fluid connective tissues, blood, lymph, 2 types. Skeletal connective tissues, bone and cartilage. Fibrous connective tissues, ligaments and tendons. Okay. So first, let us try to at least finish one type, areolar connective tissue. Let us take the first type. Once you are acquainted with the name, let us take this. Areolar connective tissue. यहाँ पे how you will read this chapter? तुम्हें क्या पढ़ना है according to your syllabus? You want to only study the location and function. That is it. Nothing else. Location और function ही पढ़ना है. कहाँ पे है? क्या करता है? That's it. Now, if I talk about areolar connective tissue, I would say areolar connective tissue is present beneath the skin. Areolar connective tissue present beneath the skin. What does it do? Function क्या है? Holds the skin So function of areolar connective tissue. So that's the first part. Function of the areolar connective tissue. Now the next class I'll show you the images also one after the other. Ligament, tendons, T-E-N-D-O-N-S. So सबसे पहले एक simple से example सीखते हैं areolar connective tissue कहाँ पे है? I said areolar connective tissue is present beneath the skin, all over the body. तो इसीलिए even when we are jumping and hopping, हमारे जो internal tissues है, organs है, structures है, they never dislocate. क्योंकि skin के साथ जो internal organ है, say suppose I'm talking about the hand, I will talk about the stomach also. Say suppose now I'm talking about this is the outer lining of the body, and this is the stomach that we have, and this is the stomach that we have. This is our stomach. So if that is so. Yes, there will be certain type of tissues which are connecting the inner lining of the skin, layers of the skin with that of the stomach. So that's the reason the stomach is finding some grip and support. So इस तरह से काफी सारे tissues हैं which are there all over the body under the concept of connective tissues. But first of all, I'm talking about areolar connective tissue where you are supposed to know that these type of tissues are present beneath the skin all over the body. And it is connecting the skin with the internal organs. Connective tissues like the areolar connective tissue also, if I talk about that, yes, when you pull like this, does the skin as it is comes out? No, you can feel that there is a firmness. You cannot easily pull it. Kuch thoda der aage now, after that you cannot pull it further. You नहीं, because there are those fine strands of the tissue connected with the internal bones and the muscles. So this type of tissue connects the skin and the organs together. The other organs are here. I can also talk about connects the skin and the muscles. ये भी लिख सकते हैं. It also connects the skin and the muscle. So that's the reason there is a firmness. But this tissue, as in when we keep on aging, this keeps on becoming loose. Say suppose when I talk about a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old baby, what happens? If you try to take a pinch, nahi ho paega, because this part is so, or the entire body, if I talk about, is so firm. By the time we are in our 30s, 20s, 30s, you can take a pinch around say. By the time an individual is in the 50s, the pinch will be much bigger. By the time an individual is in the 80s and 90s, the pinch will be even longer. Kya ho raha hai? Itne gradually kya ho raha hai? The fibrous structures inside is getting loose ho raha hai. That's the reason by the time, did we ever see our grandparents where the skin got wrinkled and now you can take a bigger pinch. You can take a bigger pinch and there is no pain. They don't feel any pain. Kyun? Because the internal tissues have become loose. So what is the major function of the areolar connective tissues we are learning? It holds the skin and the internal muscles. It holds the skin and the internal organs. And by that, is it not giving a grip to the internal organs? Yes, it is giving a grip to the internal organs. Okay. So this is the first type of tissues. The next is adipose connective tissues. Let us know. Location kaha? Location again is the same beneath the skin. Beneath the skin. Here also we can talk about the adipose tissues are also present beneath the skin, but in the deep layers of dermis. Dermis is a layer of the skin. Location of the adipose tissue more or less remains the same. But यहाँ पे हमें एक और चीज सीखना है. The adipose tissues, they are composed of, made up of fat cells. Fat cells. So if I talk about the layers of the skin, now I'm talking about the adipose tissues just present at the lowermost layer of the skin. When I talk about the structure of the skin, when I draw the structure of the skin, there is one layer known as the epidermis, and then there is a long layer known as the dermis. And dermis के lower portion में we get to see big fat cells are there. Because of these fat cells, because of the presence of these fat cells, the body heat cannot get lost. And that is the reason our body temperature is maintained. What is our body temperature? कौन बोलेगा? 98.6 what degrees Fahrenheit, 36 degrees or 37 degrees centigrade. So that is our normal body temperature. But क्या ऐसा होता है when it is winter हमारा body temperature 12 degrees में जाता है क्या कभी? When you go to a very cold place during winter, January में तुम दिल्ली चले गए, देहरादून चले गए, तुम स्विट्जरलैंड चले गए, is your body temperature going to be that low as 8 degrees, 10 degrees कभी होता है? Body temperature remains the same. क्यों? Because we have got this layer of fat cell. क्या बोलेंगे इसको? Adipose tissues, which does not allow the body heat to get lost, conserves the body heat. That's why our body temperature is more or less 37, 36.5 to 37 में ही रहता है, with little bit of variation up and down. But कभी भी हमारा body temperature drop नहीं होगा. Now that outer temperature is so high, will our body temperature be 50 degrees, 34? I mean, will it be ever 39? Will it be ever 42? नहीं, it will be more or less 36.5 to 37 के बीच में ही रहता है. This adipose tissues can very well help in managing that body temperature, prevents the loss of heat from the body. So what is the major function to write down? The major function is prevents the loss of body heat. Prevents the loss of body heat. इसको क्या बोलेंगे? It acts as an insulator. Adipose tissues acts as a insulator. As adipose tissues acts as a insulator. So where is it present? It is the skin in the form of fat cells, prevents the loss of body heat. What is the meaning? In one word, what will you write? Adipose tissues acts as a insulator. Okay. Next class we'll continue with the connective tissues. Done, all of you? Spandhan and where's Adibal? Shriya.
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
बंदा
अबे 8 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा
भाई 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 दिमाग का क्या हाल हो गया है यार।
ऐसी बड़ी हाथ फ्रीज हो गए
कौन है यार बोर हो आप
सफेद हो गए मेरे हाथ।
पवार तो अगला क्लास ऑफलाइन अटेंड कर रहा है। तू अगला क्लास ऑफलाइन अटेंड कर रहा है।
क्या
तू नेक्स्ट क्लास ऑनलाइन अटेंड कर रहा है।
हां मैं भी ऑनलाइन अटेंड कर रहा हूं। नेक्स्ट
मेरे को नोट्स भेज देना।
सब स्क्रीनशॉट निकाल दे।
एंड पवार सुन। हेल्प श्रिया इफ शी वांट्स योर हेल्प।
क्या क्या
चल बाय।
स्क्रीनशॉट भेजना उसको।
ए चल बाय बाय।
Bye bye.